Hey, welcome to Voices in My Room. I'm Daniel, your host, and today I'm here with that's where you're coming.
Hello. Hello. How is everybody?
Yeah, so this is where you like do an introduction, introduce yourself to the audience, and all.
Yeah, my name is Michael Box. I'm a director, filmmaker, screenwriter in the United States in Ohio. And I'm working on a current project called Speakeasy, fundraising stage, pre-production. But we can talk more about that as we go along.
For sure, for sure. So today we are going to talk about to me, I don't know about other people, but to me, classics like classic films,
Hmm.
way more interesting than the ones we have these days. Like I've watched, I don't know if have you ever watched Titanic?
Well, sure.
Yeah, I watched Titanic like 5 or 6 times, but then I can't watch the new Superman, the new Flash, or probably some Netflix shows more than
Sure.
once.
Sure.
So like, are classics actually better than modern day films?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting question to pose because I think a lot of filmmaking depends on technology that's available at the time. Classic movies made at the turn of the century when filmmaking was at its earliest stages in the 30s and 40s. Um, the technology was very limited. So it required sets that were practical, although there were quite a lot of interesting visual effects even at the time using painting on glass to create visual elements. They did a lot of shooting through glass,
Yeah,
mirrors, things like that. But as technology advanced, it became easier for directors to put to screen the vision that they had in their minds. But I think that there's always a little bit of uncanny valley. Do you know this phrase, uncanny valley? It's when something looks just a little off. It doesn't quite look
yeah,
right, and I think that that's what happens with visual effects like CGI. And now a lot of films use LED screens as backdrops. There's something about it that feels false, that there's no depth to it. It doesn't feel tangible. And so there is an argument to be made that classic films feel more cinematic, feel more real to life. They might even have a look that says, I could actually touch the sand. It feels like real sand. It looks like real sand as opposed to an LED backdrop. So I think it's an interesting conversation to have, and I have a lot of thoughts on the topic.
yeah. Again, what's like your best film? Like, what's your best all-time favorite?
My all-time favorite,
Yeah,
probably, gosh, it might be Zodiac by David Fincher. Maybe Social Network, also by David Fincher. Yeah,
funny enough, I did start Social Network, but I didn't finish it.
yeah,
Like, I got to the first part where
uh-huh,
he broke up with his girlfriend. Then I was at the part where he was having some issues with the school. I think it was
right,
Harvard. So
yeah,
yeah, got to that part, and I'm like, I'm not watching this again. Like, I can't go on.
yeah.
I
It's
don't know.
incredible.
Maybe it's
It's
incredible. Maybe it's not just for me.
Yeah, it's really great filmmaking. What he does in that film, Fincher does in that film, is he makes people sitting in a room talking interesting because that's really what the whole movie is. It's just people sitting in rooms talking. But the way that he shoots it and the blocking, the dynamics of the actual scenes, the cinematography and the vibe, the feel of the scenes makes it interesting. I mean, really, there's not a whole lot of action in the movie. The performances are great. The soundtrack by Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor, incredible. But I think that it's a real testament to filmmaking that it's as accomplished a film as it is, considering it's just people sitting in rooms talking. Zodiac, on the other hand, is an incredible noir style crime story about the hunt for the Zodiac killer in the 70s.
I think
And
I'll go with that.
he does like it's another Fincher movie. Fincher's probably my favorite director. He does incredible filmmaking, and I think that the reason I like his films is because he's meticulous. He uses practical sets. He uses very controlled lighting and strong attention to detail. And all of these things are things that I like about classic filmmaking.
Yeah,
So when you talk about the difference between classic filmmaking and modern filmmaking, I think there are some filmmakers today who are really doing incredible work, and for the most part,
100%.
they're using ideas and techniques that have been a part of classic filmmaking since the beginning of the craft.
Yeah, I do agree with you. But honestly, I feel I don't know if you're invested in the DCU, MCU. Yeah, I invested in the DCU, MCU.
Hmm.
So like,
Yeah, I lost interest in those movies probably around the time of Avengers Endgame. After Endgame, I felt like it was an oversaturated genre.
yeah,
I just wasn't anymore.
yeah, but the Batman trilogy, the Dark Knight Begins,
Hmm. Hmm.
the trilogy
Hmm.
is one of the best trilogies ever
Yeah, I
to
agree.
me. That
Yeah.
was that was peak cinema. It
Uh-huh.
felt it brought me in like I could feel everything.
Yeah,
Like
and
I'd
a lot
watch
of
it
that.
again. Like I watch it again and again.
Sure. A lot of that is because Christopher Nolan, the director, is also one of my favorite directors. He is meticulously focused on those same aspects of classic filmmaking. He shot on location in Pittsburgh, in Chicago. He used real stunt work and real set pieces as much as possible. CGI was only used to enhance what was already on screen or what was already in camera. For example, like the Two-Face character.
Okay.
They use CGI to enhance what was already there, but the character himself is not a CGI character. It doesn't feel like it's
Wow.
cut from a video game. So Fincher does a really great job of that. Nolan does a really great job of that. Tarantino, Aronofsky, they all do really great work using CG and computer enhancement, special effects to enhance what's already in camera. And so I think that that's why their films, to me, stand out as a throwback to classic filmmaking style. They feel
Yeah.
real, they feel tactile, they feel like you could step into that world and you know the rules of how those worlds operate.
Yeah. 100%. Speaking about Christopher Nolan, let's come back to you. You said you're trying to fund a film.
Yeah, I
So are you
am.
going to get any insights on what your film is about?
Mhm.
What you're trying to achieve with it?
Yeah, our film is it's called Speakeasy, and it's about a musical group, a band of musicians who are living under a system that has criminalized behavior that they find that could be used as propaganda against the state. This includes forms of self-expression like music, art, literature. It's very dystopian in its approach, and we're using music as a focal point in the film. We're writing all the music that the band will be playing. The actors that we use are also musicians themselves, so the musicians in the band are actually going to be playing the songs that we've written. We're going to be filming in some pretty gritty locations, some abandoned buildings that have been slated for demolition, things like
Okay.
that. Back alleys, really gritty looking set pieces. And, in the same vein, we will use some digital enhancements in the
Of-
film, but
I
but
mean,
only but
that's
only for enhancing what's already on camera. We're really excited about it. We have a great cast and crew lined up, and at this point, we're just courting some investors and trying to line up the proper funding. And we're going to kick off a Kickstarter campaign here within the next few months to try to do some crowdfunding for some pre-production. And so that will all take place within the next few months. People can find more information about that at speakeasythemovie.com, all one word.
all right. Put the link. I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah.
I'm babysitting.
No, that's great. That's fine.
Yeah, it is. It is. Life is beautiful, you know. So yeah, I'm going to put the link to your film in the description of this, so people could find out more information about it. So
Sure.
yeah, I'll be looking forward to watch it. Like I'm intrigued. I'm interested. So
Yeah.
like, what is the distribution going to be like? Is it going to be on Mubi, Prime, Netflix?
Well, once we finish the project, we plan to do a road show. We'll take it on the road. We're going to show it in some college campus theaters, some art house theaters, independent theaters. We'll schedule Q&A opportunities to visit some film schools and do a Q&A with myself, my writing partner, production partner Patrick, and then maybe hopefully some of the cast and crew. once we have finished the road show, we will submit to several film festivals.
Yeah.
And after the film festival circuit, hopefully we'll have gained some momentum and some traction with those that can make these kind of decisions. But we would hopefully be in a position to find distribution. We would like a theatrical distribution, but you don't have control over those decisions sometimes, and whatever we can put ourselves in a position for, we'll be excited about. Streaming distribution, if it is something that can help us to continue making films, that'd be incredible. And home theater distribution, streaming on demand, that kind of thing, that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds exciting. So, given the experience in making films and screenwriting and everything, so
Mm-hmm.
what's your advice for like solo filmmakers out there who are trying to get started on a
Mm.
budget? Because most people go on a budget these days.
Yeah, that's tough. You have to write within your budget. I highly recommend finding a trusted friend or writing partner that can at least help keep you grounded. Sometimes when we're writing, we find some fantastical ideas that are very difficult to execute.
Yeah.
And so, if you're going to make your own film, if you're writing a project that you plan to shoot and it's going to be low budget, you need to frame it in a way that makes it available for you to shoot. I can't write a 15 to 20 million dollar movie for us to produce.
Yes, definitely.
I can write a $100,000 to $500,000 movie for us to produce. And so that's a big difference, and you have to be able to be realistic about what you can and what you cannot accomplish in that sense. But that being said, I suggest to any new filmmakers or writers who want to become filmmakers to just go out there and start creating, start doing the work. Quentin Tarantino has spoken on this idea before, and he says just go out there and make it. It may be the worst project ever created, but at least you learn something from it. And you take what you learned from that and you apply it to the next one that you make, and then you apply it to the following one. So you become a better filmmaker and a better writer with each project you hopefully complete. I prefer writing with a partner. My writing partner and I have been writing together for almost 15 years. And he has his strengths and I have my strengths, and together we form a really great partnership. But some people like writing by themselves, and if that's the case, at least find somebody that you can bounce the ideas off of, and they can tell you if it's a realistic thing for you
Not.
to do. So yeah, that would be my advice to anybody starting out.
So, when it comes to cameras,
Mm-hmm.
obviously we've seen this whole new wave of pocket cameras, the action cameras, and
Mm-hmm.
all. So, like, if you're going to have like a budget setup, again, budget setup, so you're going to go for either an action camera or maybe a DJI Osmo Action 4, or maybe
Sure.
a DJI Osmo Pocket 3 or Pocket 2. So, what do you think about these cameras? Do you think they're good enough?
I think anything that shoots at 23 frames per second and at least 1080p is perfectly capable of creating a cinematic look, especially with the post-production editing software that we have available to us today. There's a lot of even open source, free to use editing software that can help you touch up and enhance the image so that it does look as good as it can possibly be. Color correction and whatnot. I mean, most people have a smartphone, and most
Yeah.
smartphones can shoot in 23 frames per second and at least 1080p. There are filmmakers, there are professional high quality filmmakers who are doing experimental work by shooting on iPhones. I mean, 28 years later was just shot using only iPhones. They did have rigs that they used that the iPhones were basically the sensor, and then they used cinema lenses attached to the iPhone. But as far as the processing of the image, that was all through an iPhone. So if you have an iPhone, if you have a Samsung Galaxy, you can shoot something that looks really good. I think a lot of people focus on the frame rate. They want to shoot higher frame rate. Our eyes we process information about the same as 23 frames per second. That's why 23 frames per second is this industry standard for filmmaking, because it looks realistic. Once you get a little higher than that, it feels like you're processing too much information at once, and honestly, it can look a little too digital to me.
Yeah. Before today, I'm trying to get into filmmaking properly.
Mm-hmm.
So before today, I was thinking that 24 frames per second was meant to be cinematic. To be fair, I've been using 24 frames per second because I watched a couple of YouTube videos and they were like, yeah, 24 frames per second, 4K 24, 4K 24.
Mm-hmm.
So like, since 3 coming from you, that means I've been misinformed somewhere.
Well, I think a lot of people focus on like 60 frames per second, or I think there's somebody talk about 72 frames per second. That's just way too much information, I think.
Yeah.
I think that 23 frames per second being the industry standard for filmmaking, there's a reason why, and going back to what you even started this conversation with, is the classic look. What makes a classic film look, feel so much better than modern film. I think a part of it is the trying to introduce technology that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right to our eyes, to our processing information in our brains. And so we try to introduce higher frame rates, and it just doesn't feel, it feels off. So yeah, I recommend 23 frames per second, especially for anybody who's starting out. You can experiment, obviously, and some artistic license is always part of the filmmaking process. You want to take some chances and take some risks. And if you think that adjusting the frame rate for a specific purpose is what's needed for your vision, obviously go for that. As a general rule, I would say to keep it at the tried and true 23 frames per second.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for today.
Okay.
What else am I thinking about? Best movie. Yeah, pretty said. I honestly wanted to ask you because when I was going through like everything you told me, like you sent over for me to go through. You said you were a Christian, and now
I
you
was.
joined the.
Yeah.
I want to know what actually took you down. Like, can you explain a process making that decision? Like,
for deconstructing my religious perspective. Yeah. I've always had a very scientific type of brain, and I always held religious ideology in one hand and scientific evidence-based ideology in the other hand, and the two were just really difficult to fully embrace together.
They're contradictory.
Yes, they felt like contradiction to me. So it was a little bit of, I'll ignore this while I'm in this world, and I'll ignore this while I'm in this world. And at a certain point, it really just had to have a reconciliation and recognize that I personally didn't find any evidence to believe in the supernatural. And so without, observable, verifiable, repeatable, testable evidence, I just found no reason to believe in the supernatural or deities or any of that. And until, if there is, then all it would take is some hard and fast evidence that could be repeated and tested and verified. And then I would change my perspective. But I think that as of right now, I have never seen that. I was in ministry for 10 plus years. My degree's in biblical studies. I understand all of the theology. I just think that religion is a really good way for people to explain what they don't understand. And I think that people throughout history have used religion for that purpose, to help them have hope, to help them to see a brighter future. And that's a great thing. I'm not here to take anybody's hope away or to devalue a belief system. I personally just don't subscribe to any.
So what's the take on the Big Bang Theory? How the world came about? Like,
I'm not a theoretical physicist, so I have no idea. Yeah, and I don't feel the need to examine that, because those type of science is left to people much smarter than I am.
Yeah, sure.
So I can write stories about it, and I can write characters who challenge their belief systems, and find ways to explore the philosophy of life and how we came about. But as far as the answers to life's riddles, I'm neither a scientist nor a philosopher.
First, so you know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make a short. I'm going to make a film in
Oh,
general.
okay.
I don't think it's short, 30 minutes, an hour long. I
Yeah.
don't know. But I'm going to make a film, and I'm going to be a philosopher. I'm going to be a physicist. Then I'll prove that. I'll find a way to prove everything you need to be proven
Uh-huh.
that the deities exist, and I'll show it to you.
That
Hopefully,
what exists? That deities exist?
that there's God and there's Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I'm going to try to prove to you. Hopefully,
that
I
would
convince you.
be incredible.
Yeah, I'm going to
I
do
don't
it.
know that anybody's been able to prove it, so that would be incredible.
I'm going to do it through filming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe get supernatural elements, actual supernatural elements on camera. That would be very exciting.
Maybe not supernatural. I'm trying to keep it like, I try to make it as real, but yeah, the message has to be there. The message has to be strong. Like,
Mm,
obviously, I'm going to have different point of views for this. I'm
yeah.
probably going to get some Muslims, Buddhists. I'm going to get
I,
opinions from different religions. But
the
then the main point is I'm proving Christianity.
ah
I'm
the the way that I
obviously
see.
respect to
Hmm.
Islamic guys, respect to the
Hmm.
Buddhist guys, but
Yeah,
I'm a
I mean
Christian.
the way that I see it is truth, no matter where it's found, and what is true can be tested as if it's true.
Yeah, sure.
It can be verified if it's true, and so wherever it's found, I will believe in truth, but I also check the sources.
No issues.
Yeah,
You're gonna watch it. You're definitely going to
yeah,
watch it.
yeah.
Did you ever watch Breakthrough?
What's that?
It's a film, Breakthrough. Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
know.
think I
Oh
don't think
yeah,
so.
oh yeah. It's so like a gospel film.
Oh, okay.
Literally, the main character drowned in a lake, a frozen lake. So he got drowned there, but he got rescued. But after probably like 30 minutes, and then when he got to the hospital, he was taken to the emergency ward, and then they said he was dead. But
Mm.
then his mom, his dad, his pastor, they all came, they prayed for him, and then miraculously, he was like revived. Then when I watched it, I'm like, okay, these guys are going too far. But then I know that this things happen in real life too. Can I prove it? Yeah, I can definitely prove it.
But there was no medical intervention. Like
Obviously, but like,
the doctors and the nurses didn't do anything. They just prayed,
they're
and
like already giving up on the guy. Like
they didn't help at all.
the monitor was already like he's dead, he's gone.
Yeah, yeah.
But then it's came back up.
It's very interesting.
No, I think you have to watch this like understand what I'm saying. But like yeah, it's actually a good watch.
Mm.
I recommend.
Yeah. And what was it called again?
Breakthrough.
Breakthrough.
Yeah. So do you have any word of the day, any advice to like anyone watching, anything you want to say to anyone listening, watching?
I just, as far as filmmaking goes, I just really hope that people who have a passion for storytelling, for creating interesting characters and interesting stories, that they feel inspired to pursue those and to continue the art that started so many centuries ago in humanity, of sharing our ideas through the art of story. And we have so much technology available to us today, to be able to put images to those ideas and share those with others. So I hope that people who are considering being a filmmaker or being a screenwriter to just take that leap, off that ledge, and make their first project, shoot their first project, write their first project. It's one of the great opportunities that we have as humans, is to create art. It's definitely something that separates us from
Yeah.
the animals, is that we are capable of creating art.
Yeah. Art is beautiful in general.
Mm.
I love
Hmm.
art. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for
Okay.
joining us today. Voices in my room. If you want to follow Michael, I'm going to put his socials in the description and the
Yeah.
link to his movie. What's it
Speakeasy, the
again?
movie.
Speakeasy.
Hmm.
Yeah, speakeasythemovie.com. I'm going to put that in the description too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael, for
I
joining us today.
appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
You're the first person from United States to join
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
The new one. I had one before, but like this is the new one. So yeah, it's really exciting for me too. So yeah, thanks once more, and
Thank you so
end the
much.
recording.
I appreciate you.